Welcome back. We are finally going to start building our killer web page. Great. But before diving right in, we gotta have a very clear plan of exactly what we're gonna do. With a good plan, you're already halfway to a great website. Because building a website is not just writing some code. It's much more than that. It's a whole process, from complete scratch to a completely functional website. And I'm going to reveal the 7 real-world steps of that process right now. Every good website in the world needs to follow at least these 7 steps. You should definitely take some notes of these. So let's go. Start off by defining the goal of your project. This can be showing your portfolio to the world, selling an ebook, building a blog, or whatever you want. Also define your audience. Ask yourself, which is the typical user that will visit my website? This is important because you should always design with your goal and audience in mind. Once your project is defined, plan your content carefully. This includes text, images, videos, icons, etc. Remember what I told you about visual hierarchy in the web design section? It plays an important role when you start thinking about what you want on your website and what you don't. Defining the content before actually starting the design is called the content first approach. It means that you should design for the content instead of designing a web page and then filling it with some stuff. Also define the navigation and the site structure in this step. You can draw a sitemap in this step if we're talking about a bigger project. Now it's time to get inspired and think about your design. Then get the ideas out of your head. And with that I mean, sketch your ideas before you start designing. It will help you explore ideas and create a concept of what you want to build. Using pencils and paper is a great way of quickly retaining your valuable ideas. And make as many sketches as you want, but don't spend too much time perfecting anything. Once you have an initial idea, you can concentrate on the details when designing in HTML and CSS. I advise you to never ever start designing without having an idea of what you want to build. Getting inspiration is very important in this phase, and I already told you how to do that. Now, after sketching, start to design your website using all the guidelines and tips you've learned in the web design section. You will do that using HTML and CSS, which is called designing in the browser. So, designing in the browser is basically designing and developing at the same time. There are actually more and more designers leaving traditional design programs such as Photoshop and start designing in the browser, such as we are going to do. The biggest reason for this is that you can't design responsive websites in Photoshop. It also saves you tons of time. And in this phase, you'll use your sketches, content, and planning decisions you've made in steps 1, 2, and 3. This step is of course the biggest part of building a website. But don't forget, all the other steps are also very, very important. Now, before you can launch your beautiful masterpiece for the world to see it, we have to optimize its performance and for search engines such as Google. You don't want a slow website or one that no one can find, right? Your optimized website is then finally ready to launch. All you need for this is a web server that will host your website and deliver it to the world. I will later show you a way to do exactly that. But the launch of your website is not the end of the story. Now it's time to monitor your users' behavior and make some changes to your website if necessary. You should also update your content regularly in order to show your users that your website is alive. For instance, a blog can be a very great way of doing that. These steps I just showed you are so incredibly important that I also included them in the course ebook, so that you always know where to find them. Also in the ebook is the link to a document called the Periodic Table of Web Design Process, if you want an even deeper understanding of the complete web design and development process. So, make sure to check it out. Now, over the rest of the course, we're going to put these 7 real-world steps into action. After that, we will have a fully functional, beautifully designed and developed website on the internet. Excited? So let's start it.